So here we are on release date. Resident Evil Rent or Buy game review. Overall, what I think, if it's good, if it's bad. Did it bring back the essence of the franchise? I was really wondering after Resident Evil 6. Because Resident Evil 5 was good, but it wasn't like back in the good old days. It wasn't. Then Resident Evil 6 came along and that was really a disappointment to me. Because I went back and finished it about still a couple of weeks ago. And they did Revelation 2. That wasn't that good. Revelation, the first one on the 3DS, that was a knockout. It was so awesome. I got nothing to complain. Then we have this baby to come along. They announce it. They say it's on VR. It's in first-person view. I'm like, oh man, it's going to be first-person. Resident Evil. I'm like, oh, it's going to be crap. No way. No way. They brought the passion, the light, the excitement, the fear, everything. They brought it back since day one. Since the day I sold my Sega Saturn to buy myself a PlayStation 1 so I could be able to play Resident Evil 1. The first one. I had no numbers. But honestly, Resident Evil 7 really lights up the franchise. It brings back everything. By far one of the best horror games I've played in a while. And, you know, Fatal Frame is one of my favorites. I'm Tecmo, if you're watching. Guys, you got to do this on VR. Though, I want to point out, the downer part of this, control-wise, everything is fine. But when you put on the VR, there's got to be a motion way. Because when you're turning on the VR, I want to point that out. Whenever you're turning, playing in VR mode, it's really immersive, it's really scary, really awesome for the first hour. After that, you figure out pretty much a story. I don't want to give out the story because it's a very compelling story mode. It's amazing, breathtaking, insanely cool. You got some puzzles around the whole. You're stuck in a mansion just like back in the good old days. It looks like a regular house, but deeper and deeper you go in, just like in the first one. I don't want to spoil it too much. They, you know, good old hang the shotgun on the statue to unlock the door, because if you take it off, the door locks and you're stuck there. Well, you got that room again. But it's not a reboot. It's really Resident Evil 7. It explains a lot in here. Story mode is by far one of the most epic ones. It's just so breathtaking. As I was saying, the VR mode. I'm too excited for this title. You pretty much figured out it's a must-buy, must-own masterpiece collector's edition. I want to go back and replay it. Because when you play in VR mode, when you're turning around, if you watch my first part 1, 2, 3 gameplay, you'll see it's really not very fluid when you're turning. It's like how can I say it? It's very cut, like you're turning in one shot, and the fluidity gameplay when you turn around with the right stick. Well, you can look around fine, but when you want to turn around, it's cut base, like it's really clunky and not cool. And when you get into boss fights and everything, you get killed oftenly. So eventually you're like taking off the VR helmet and you're playing just on the screen, which kind of sucks. I played for an hour last night and it's still so good, so much fun. Like I said, the first hour is scary. After that, you kind of figure out the whole story and you're not that scared anymore. But you can still get some good jumps. But the first hour is really scary shit. Awesome, epic. Later on, you'll see I'm into like 7 hours into it. I go in every room. When you're playing the VR, that's the thing. You're staying in one place. You can look around, but how can I describe it? When you're playing without the VR, you get a stronger, wider view, and you can look around easier. It's smoother to boss battle fights to look around, because if the boss is coming at you, you're trying to run, the boss is right there with the VR, and you go, and you're trying to turn and move. And with the remote, it's just like FPS, first-person shooter. The controller, much easier, much smoother. I appreciate a little bit more of the gameplay, but I'm gonna go back playing with the VR. I complain about it, but the immersiveness of when you put the VR is scary as shit. It's awesome. It is scary. The first part. I haven't really jumped as much without playing the VR though. You jump way more with the VR, so the experience is exquisite with the VR, but the controls are clunky when you're turning. When you're looking, you're fine. When you're walking back and forth, it's fine. But when you're turning, and the aiming with VR with the gun is really cool too. Also, all with the controller, no PlayStation moves. Thus far, Capcom, I had a feeling Capcom was gonna die, honestly. And they brought it back. They brought it back. Guys, you're making money with the franchise. Make good games. You did it with this one. You brought back the franchise to life. You brought it back, just like in the good old days. The puzzles are so like, feels old school, and there's a lot of them, and really fun. There's creatures. I haven't seen some zombies. Yeah, 2016 zombies. You got shotguns, you got the guns, you got handguns, you got, I don't want to spoil too much, you got chainsaws, man. Boss battles with chainsaw, and you do cut out with the chainsaw. It's very violent. So, honestly, must buy, must own. I want to give out the story, but honestly, don't worry about it. It's very Resident Evil. And Umbrella Corporation is very much inside this family you're visiting and house. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say. That's what it feels like. I'm gonna leave it to that. But by far, for any Resident Evil fan that felt left out in 6 and Revelation 2 and all those shooters they made on the Wii versions weren't that good, the franchise is back and well and alive. This is gonna sell. I give it like 9 on 10 all the way, no problems. It's a must buy for any fan. And if you don't own the VR, it's no big deal. It's still fun. I played without the VR last night for 2 hours. It was still epic, because some boss battles were really tough with the VR element, so I had to play with the controller. But the VR is very, very a nice, immersive, very scary stuff. And plus, might I add, it's the first game I played for 3 hours. No motion sickness at all. You gotta give that, because a lot of new games, titles that came out on the PlayStation VR, you play for 45 minutes to an hour and you get sick like, ugh. Just like the Robinsons, I didn't do gameplay because over 30 minutes I was getting sick. And I had to throw up. But this one, motion sickness free. So go try it. You gotta buy it. It's the best ever since the first one. Like, the good old days are back. Thank you, Capcom. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job reviving the series.